Все. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? You are heroes that you are here, even despite the fact that it has been raining, yeah? So there has been many more that sign up, but it seems that the rain has really scared them a little bit, yeah? But anyway, so in Latvian we say that we are not of sugar, right? So and that you prove that for you it's not a problem. And here, this is what we are looking for to have in Riga Business School always are people that are brave, that are able to challenge the circumstances and go ahead with the objectives. Yeah. So what we are going to do today is to give you a flavor of what Riga Business School is. Maybe some of you know already, but we want you to see faces of the school. So this is a very big community. So there are already more than 1,200 graduates. I think 1,300 already, and there are around 100 professors, so it's very hard that you can see in 2 hours, what we have here, but at least you will see some of that, okay? And this is gonna work. Maybe the battery doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, something happened with the battery, I guess. Oh no. You can check out. Okay. So my name is Claudio Rivera. I am the director of the program, but I teach as well here. So I teach leadership in the MBA program. So when you will get older and then you graduate from the bachelor program, so you will try to get into the MBA. So I teach there as well. And in the BBA program, I teach organizational behavior. Okay. But a little bit about this school. This school is a dream that was realized by Latvians, actually. That when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1990, they thought, okay, what can we do for Latvia? So they were people that have been born abroad, that their family left Latvia in the 40s, and they had been very successful in the States. They were living in United States. And then they got together there, and then they thought, okay, what can we do for that country? And they were not people in politics, so there was not something they were interested about politics. But what is more important than business to actually guarantee the success of a country? Because businesses guarantee that you are going to have the best product, the best services, and more important than that you are going to have employment, so that people in the future will be able to work and will have jobs. And that's how Riga Business School started. So they approached the Riga Technical University, that is the oldest university in the country, and as you might know from today's news, is the highest rank in Latvia, okay, internationally. And they said to the university, the technical university, do you want to create a business school? So a business school is something that your parents might not know what is this about, because business schools is American type of thing that has not been here till 1990. So the first business school in the Baltic regions is Riga Business School, okay? So, but if you go abroad, and if you look at all the people that has been in the top positions in business and in politics, in most of the leading countries, most of them are graduated from the business school. So the business school is a school that creates leaders, and that's what a business school is. And you need 3 things to make a business school work out: a good house, good professors, and good students. If you have that, you are done. Okay, so I mean, this is my job as a director, is try to put the right people together. Okay, I cannot take care too much of the house, that's not my role, but still the house is very good. So, and my role is to try to find the right professors that can teach to the right students. So if you look to other offers that you have in other universities, most of them try to bring most students as possible. So they go, as many students you have, the best, the better. Riga Business School is not about it. It's to bring the right students. That's what we are up to, okay? And that's why we always bring very few, I mean, the intake, the number of students in the school is small. So every intake is around 50 to 60 students for the BBA program. Then for the MBA program, it's around 80, okay? So if you come to a business school that usually is a leading business school, you usually have a good and safe gateway, pathway to the job market, okay? Now, how do we create our program, okay? So when we look at you, and when we look at what we are going to offer to you starting in September, if you are going to study in September, how many of you are in the 12th class, by the way? Okay, how many in the 11th? Okay, some of you will start next year. Good guys, that you come so early. So so when we look at you and what are we gonna offer to you starting in September, we don't think on what the job market, what the companies are requesting now. We look what the companies are gonna ask from you in 5 to 10 years from now. That's because, I mean, if you go now to any marketing agency, this is a place where many of our graduates work, if you go to a marketing agency, something they will ask you to work with today is Google Analytics. So you will work in, and they will make you analyze how many people have seen the post, how many people have gone from the Facebook post to the website, etc., etc., etc. If you ask to the people that have been in that agency 5 years ago, they didn't have any deal with Google Analytics whatsoever. Now, when you will graduate, Google Analytics will be history. Nobody will use Google Analytics anymore. This is how fun the world is. So everything changed very, very fast. Now, my role and the role of this business school, when we create the program and the content and whatever you are going to do here, is not to think only on Google Analytics, but to think on the next thing. So what are you going to use after Google Analytics? When Google Analytics will be history, what will you use? And we have to prepare you for that. It's typical when the students are in the classroom, they ask, why in heck you are giving us this content? Well, you don't understand, we do. Because we talk to the job market, to the employers, and we try to look in the future. Now, you will have one of our graduates. His name is Christoph Gintautz, and he works in a bank on anti-money laundering. So what does he do? He checks deals, big deals. He graduated last year, and he checks deals, whether those deals are genuine or they are connected with terrorism or another type of not clean source of money. Now, when 5 years ago we started the bachelor program, nobody was talking about it at all. So anti-money laundering was not an issue in the job market. Now, it's very likely that when you finish this school, if you finish here, so you will be dealing with something of this type of jobs, or maybe not. Maybe anti-money laundering will be a history, and you will be working with something different. Yeah? So this is what companies will be expecting from you when you graduate. So they will not be so interested that you know Excel or Google Analytics or whatever accounting program. We provide that as well, but it's not the most important part. What is important is that you are intelligent. What does it mean intelligent? Means that when you look at a problem, you can look to the problem from different angles. And that you don't try to say, oh, please tell me what to do. I mean, most of the time employers don't know what to say. So most of the time they give you the problem and they don't know what to say. So you need to find a solution, okay? The second, honesty, integrity. when you finish the school, when you finish the university, hopefully people will give you in your hands, employees, maybe one or two, they will give you some money, they will give you some tasks that you have to fulfill. It's important that you are honest, because otherwise people will not give you that responsibility, right? So honesty is very important, okay? Leader and team player. This is what companies want. I have seen, you know, when you are in business, sometimes you will be the main guy, but sometimes you have to be the little kid. So and you have to be able to be both. And that is important, okay? Curiosity. What does it mean, curiosity? Curiosity means that you want to know. So that you face a problem and you dig and you dig and you dig till you find the best possible solution. That you just, you know, someone give you a problem, you go to Google and you try to find a solution in Google. Simple. Or you go to Wikipedia and you find an answer. Ah, here I have the answer. I am intelligent. I am smart. No. I mean, this means you try to look for the, you dig in, you dig in, you dig in. Okay? Cultural awareness. The school provides to you that more than 50% of our professors, the professors are working with you, are not Latvians. That is very important. Because the way how we think, even when I live in Latvia for 12 years, even when I sympathize and I understand perfectly your mindset, so I think differently, and I look at things differently. So we have one here from Russia, Australia, Spain. So the way how the mindset goes, the way how we discuss, the way how I expect you to write me an email is different. And business, if you do business only with Latvia, you are always going to be a poor guy, because it's very small. Latvia is very small. It's a small market. It's a wonderful country, but it's 2 million people. So, I mean, the market is small. You need to have the big market, and the big market is the whole market, okay? Then, energy. So business companies need people with a high level of energy that are able physically to keep going, okay? And global citizenship, what does it mean? We offer to our students the possibility to go in summer for volunteer jobs or internships all over the world. We have now people in Spain, United States, Indonesia. So now this summer. So, and that's very important, because then you face the world as the world is, okay? Now, what the school, why many people come to Riga Business School? You see all these companies, if you look at the guys that are in the top 5, you always will have 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 that come from Riga Business School, that are Riga Business School graduates. Now, if you tell me you go to any other university, I can contact these companies anyway. Yes, you are right. But one thing is to email your CV to info@narvensen.lv, that to email your CV to Katrina Junovica, how was the surname? Huh? Junovica @narvensen.lv. She's the CEO, right? There is a big difference to send an email to info@rbs.lv than to send an email to claudio.rivera@rbs.lv. So there is a big difference between sending to a general email or having the reception phone or having the mobile phone. So this is the difference between RBS, that is a little, small college, very powerful, with a lot of people that are very well connected and are ready to give you the mobile phone, and you can contact them directly, than if you are in the general. I have, for example, just to give you one example, I have many of those. Citadele. Citadele was launching an internship for this summer, internship program, and they publicize that internship everywhere. But they send an email to me. Claudio, if you have a student from RBS, just send it. You see the difference? So one thing is if you are a student of any university, you just see the ad in the newspaper. And the other is, hey, if you are interested, just tell me, and I will tell the HR director that you are interested. There is a big difference. Okay? In the United States, I will call it traffic of interest, but it's fine. So, I mean, people think that in life everything is fair. Life, nothing is fair. And in business, there is not fairness in business. In business, what you have is influence. So if you are intelligent and you have the right contacts, you get the deal. You have very smart people that don't have the contacts. They don't get the deal. It doesn't matter whether they are intelligent or not. Okay? Now, what do we offer? We have one program, okay? It's only one program. So you enroll, you are a student at Riga Business School, but you have 3 options, okay? So the first option is 3 years in Riga Business School. Most of our students do that, okay? Even many students come with the idea to go here or go here, but they end up doing the 3 years in Riga Business School. Okay? The second option is 2 years in Riga Business School and 1 year in BI, Norwegian Business School, that is one of the top 70 business schools in the world out of 15,000. Okay? So it's a pretty good ranking. And then the other one is 3 years here and 1 year in the United States. Okay? Now, these are not exchange programs. Be sure about it. So this is one program between Riga Business School and BI, and one program between RBS and UB, University of New York at Buffalo. And both deliver 2 diplomas. So when you finish here, you have a diploma from Riga Business School and a diploma from BI Norwegian Business School. And when you finish here, you have one from Riga Business School and one from University of New York at Buffalo. Okay. And you ask why? Because these schools are interested to have more global type of influence. Okay. These are the only programs they have outside. Okay. Now, of course, the prices are different, and we are going to touch upon it. Okay. Any question till now? We have time also afterwards, but just that I have a break. Yes. In BI? No, it's not. So what happened is that last year, 5 students of RBS went to BI, and 3 of them were given scholarships. But that was completely out of the blue sky by the government of Norway, without any notice to Riga Business School. And when they went there, they went ready to pay. So everything was arranged for them to pay. And suddenly, oh, you don't need to pay. Now, we have asked for how long that program is going to be. They said, we don't know. So what I can tell you is all our students go with a 10% discount, but there is not promise of a scholarship whatsoever. Okay? Now, one of the 3 decided to go for the master, and they said, okay, we are going to give you a scholarship also for the masters. Why? And then your question is, why these people are so interested? They are trying to save the world? No. If I give you 10,000 euros now to study for free in the university, I know that your work in my business is going to pay back 100,000 in the future. It's business. So they are looking at that from that perspective. Okay? So when they see very talented people, they are ready to invest. Okay? But not for free. No, we don't have. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. It's clear that here is a dual degree program. Yes. So no exchange program, nothing of that. Okay. And when you finish here, you have a certificate signed by the University of New York at Buffalo, Riga Technical University, Ottawa, etc. Okay. Now, people come here to work in business and to work in entrepreneurship, both, okay? And when you finish the program, we make sure you excel at these skills, okay? Otherwise, you don't graduate, okay? This is a very simple. So this is not a typical university where you pass or fail a course, and that's it. No, no, no. Here we look at your skills and how your skills are developing, okay? So because we want to make sure you will be good enough for the job market, okay? So you see English, data analysis, very important. So you become really good at looking into data, analyzing data, selecting data. Okay. So time management, goal setting, communication skills. You will do not tens of presentations, you will do hundreds of presentations here. Okay. So you will lose any fear to speak. So what happened now will not happen in 3 years, hopefully. Yeah. So you have a lot of subjects. These are pictures from different events that we have. And every semester, we have core skills that we look at you are developing during the 3 years, okay? This is for your parents, not for you. Because many times your parents ask, what a BBA graduate can do. I mean, we didn't need BBA graduate 20 years ago. And the reality is that, yes, that is a completely new phenomenon, okay? Now, for your parents, it might sound a little bit, you know, you will never work as a bookkeeper. In Latvian grammatvedis, you will never work as a bookkeeper. But it resonates to your parents. Ah, bookkeeper, fine. Grammatvedis, fine. Okay? Now, what you are gonna do is you are gonna look at the numbers. You are gonna be the one supervising bookkeepers. You will be analyzing data. Now, how do you explain that to your parents? I don't know, but I don't know how to do it. But, you know, these are the typical jobs. So you go to CV online, and you put these jobs, and you can see how much they are paid, et cetera, et cetera. But just this is more for your parents. Is when they say Bachelor of Business Administration, what can you do, really? Okay, and that's and then we have people, for example, that go to PR positions, public relationship positions. What does it mean to be in PR? Your parents will not understand immediately. They don't understand that you get a salary of 1,500 euros to start with in PR. Okay. They don't understand why a person should be working in PR. Yeah. So, in the program, you will have core courses. It means it doesn't matter if you like them or not. You have to pass them. Okay. These are core courses, and then you will have elective courses. So you will choose 5, but you can do all of them if you want. You won't be able to, but anyway. So that's your choice, okay? So you don't have to pay extra for extra courses, okay? Now, for every course, you will have at least one professor, but usually there are 2 or 3. And you have a book, everything, you know, clear for you, okay? Now, our students, I have to go a little bit quickly. Our students go more usually toward an international business track. So some of our students go to work as project managers and future managers in international companies, like RIMI, for instance. Okay. Then some of them go more into marketing positions. Some of them go into finance. And some of them go to start up their own businesses. So these are usually the options. Here you have some, I think you have the presentation, so you can go slowly looking at it afterwards. Now, if you go to Buffalo, and if you go to BI, the number of specialization grows. Okay? So there you have finance, shipping, IT, you have many, many specializations you can choose, pick and choose, and these are gonna be yours your specialization later on. Okay. Internships, praxe in Latvian, so this is a very important part of the BBA program. So you spend the summer, I'm sorry to say, but that's the reality, working. Yeah. Now it's 4 months. The good thing, and this is why our students are very attractive, is that they don't have 1 month or 2 months. Usually a university finishes in July, and then you have the company has the student only for July and August. Here they have you from between May till the end of August. This is a very good choice for a business. And this is why most of the sessions lectures start in September and finish in May. And they go all around different sectors. So no problem to get an internship whatsoever, as far as I know. And this is what we got, you know. So this is a program that has only 5 years. So we have only 2 groups. We don't take exchange students. Because if you go to other universities, they will tell you we have people from all over the world, but they come for only a semester, and most of them disappear for the whole semester because they are partying. Yeah, that's the reality of Erasmus, right? So, but what we offer to you is the possibility of having a global community. Okay, full-time students, full-time professors. Not too many, but from a big and diverse community, okay? So this is our new slogan, 26 countries, 1 community, and it's only 5 years. So I think we did very well on selling the program abroad, okay? So why to study here? And with this I finish. So you have a very high retention rate of students. And why do you think the retention rate is so high? Average Latvian university 50%, so this is 97. Why do you think there is such a big difference? Yes. Okay, what do you think is retention rate? What does it mean? What could it mean, retention rate? You're too silent today.
Keep the students from leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's how many people leave the school without graduating. Okay, that they start, and how many of the 100 people that started leave. I think now it's a little bit lower. I think it's 95, okay? So, but this is very good. So most of the people that come here really stay and graduate, okay? Some graduate in 3, some in 4, some in 5 years. But anyway, they stay, okay? We have a very global community of faculty, what is very important for you. Students have a lot of possibility of international projects, international internships. All the faculty has experience in the job market, except the faculty in mathematics. We have a fantastic faculty staff in mathematics, but they don't have any clue about business. But they are the guys, they are geniuses in their area. We have a lot of our students have startups. So about the startup, I think this is the last one. This is what we offer. If you are into entrepreneurship, if you want to start your own business, so we have incubators, we have the idea competition. Demola is something where companies offer to create, they need solutions and they put together students to do it. We have the Idea Lab, that is an incubator. We have the Design Factory, where you can do your prototypes. Yeah. Technovation is something that we run from here, that is IT girls startup competition. So, if you, and this is probably the core of the thing, is called the Latvian Angel Investors. So these are the guys that meet here once a month, and they allocate investment in new startups, okay? So if you want, after we can talk a little bit about it. Now, if you are successful with it during your studies, it's very likely you don't finish the studies and you go with your startup. But that's fine with us, no problem. Okay, so we are gonna give you the chance to meet all these people and do your startup if you are interested. Okay. Okay, but now we have the faculty member. Yeah. So yeah, Madara. Yeah. So I will invite Marina Leclerc. That actually is our is our professor in accounting. I loved accounting. I actually learned accounting in my previous career, right? So they left afterwards, you know. But we have here someone that didn't leave and like accounting, and I think give that passion to our students as well. So you can become passionate about accounting as well, I guess so, or not? Sort of. Okay, Marina will talk now. She's a faculty you are gonna meet often. She's gonna talk about her lesson on her career. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Marina Leclerc. I have been teaching in this school or university for the last three and a half years. I teach basically, if you come to here, so you will see me almost, well, every year, so almost most semesters. So sometimes it is I co-teach with other professors. Sometimes it's fully my own course. And what I teach is financial accounting, managerial accounting, and it culminates in the third year with a business valuation course. Yeah, so when we try to value the companies and see how and do case studies and actually do the valuation with Excel. Okay. So what I was asked to talk about is a little bit different, not about accounting, even though I would encourage you to like the numbers. Okay, if you want to go into the business career, you don't need to be a wizard in finance. It's not like a high level mathematics that you probably study in your last years in school, but you need to do plus minus divide and actually understand how math works. Yeah, so because wherever you want to go, whether you want to be this entrepreneur or marketing or whatever, so at any time you will have to deal with numbers, you know. So you need to understand how to make a budget. You need to understand some other things. Yeah. So I will talk a little bit about myself. So how I actually ended up teaching and what kind of a path that I have gone through in my career. Yeah. So that is the topic. It works, right? So this is the question. Yeah. How to make a successful career and what are the ingredients? Very difficult to say because many people have a very, very different career path. And really, when I was your age and when I was thinking of what it is that I want to do, actually it was a little bit earlier. So I had a conversation with my parents, probably in grade 9 or 10. So started to say, okay, so where do you want to go and direct? And really, I had no clue. Yeah. So I hope you have a better clue than I did at that period of time. And then what we actually did with my parents, we actually started thinking actually what it is that I like doing, you know, so what are my favorite subjects. So, and based on this, because I actually liked languages, literature and math. Yeah. So this is a kind of directed more on the economics type of area. And then we started kind of shaping a little bit, okay, so which universities you can go into. Yeah. So, and I think it's a good approach, yeah, because especially today I think you want to do something that you like doing, you know. So of course you will have to learn to do some of the parts of the jobs will be something that you don't like, but the overall direction, the overall achievement, and the feeling that you're actually doing what you like is very important. Yeah. So I still think that this approach should work. But now, just going back to this question, you know, when I started thinking about this presentation, I said, so what it is successful career? Yeah, so there are two ingredients. So it may be, you know, maybe it's too early for you to think about it, but I don't think it is. The earlier you start, the better you will progress in your thinking, but it's always good. So there are two parts of it. One is, you know, how you define success, yeah, and how you define what it is that constitutes your career. So success, there are two ways to do it: successful career versus successful life. You know, is it the same or is it different? You know, so when I was again preparing for it, I just actually before preparing, I on my Facebook account arrived an article. You know, like people do likes, etc. So I had this article about this Steve Jobs. You know who Steve Jobs is or was? Yeah, hopefully everybody. Yeah, okay. So okay, Steve Jobs at the end of his life, when he was on his sick bed, you know, he gave his last kind of I do not know what it was. So he had a speech or he talked to somebody, and they transmitted it to all of us, saying that he actually regretted that he spent so much time working. Yeah. So and yes, he had a lot of wealth. He accumulated a lot of wealth, but now that he's looking back on his life, having too much wealth didn't make him so happy, and he doesn't consider it completely successful. Yeah. So I think for all of us, you know, when we think about success, we should think about that career is part of your life. It's not your whole life, and you shouldn't kind of divide it between. So when you look at what you want to do, so you think about what it is you want to achieve as your goal in life, which might be related professionally or not. So, and career should be part of it, yeah, but not the whole one. So I really sincerely encourage you to think about it. So, and then there are these 4 pillars of success, which I kind of will not spend too much of it, is when you look back, so when you say, okay, so did I achieve what I wanted to achieve? Am I happy with what I'm doing? So is what I have done is significant professionally? And what it is that I've done, is there something that will be left behind, and how to do that, yeah? So now career, okay? So in career, so this is my personal belief, and this is, I will demonstrate it with my own example. The career has different parts of it. A lot of it, of what it is that you, when you graduate, or actually even coming here, part of it is a little bit of a chance, an opportunity, yeah? So you might, we decide to, after this today, you might decide to apply, you might decide not to apply, you might be accepted, you might not be accepted, yeah? So there are all these kind of things that come into place. So, and you might decide it's the right thing for you, yeah? So if you are accepted. So you always have these chances in life. So, but the idea is that, okay, so the chance is given to you if you decide to take it, this opportunity or this chance. So you make a decision based on what it is that your goals in life is, or what it is your career goals is. But once you do it, so you have to work hard, okay? So that when the next opportunity comes, so you are ready and it's going upwards, yeah? So this is very important. So, because especially like when you start the career, when you are young, you have a lot of opportunities that come your way. And the way that you will grab the one and you decide to follow one another will form how your career is going to develop, yeah? So very important. And your life in general. So it's, you know, I have a hard time distinguishing between life and career, because it's part of the same thing. So for me, it's part chance, part hard work, okay? So, and I think what I hear about the new millennials, and this is what we hear, well, and you are the new millennials kind of generation, and what we hear with the student. So I think this part hard work, you know, is not coming very natural, yeah? So I think it is important that you develop that. If you want to achieve something, it's great to have all these chances and feel that you can do it, but it's important that once you know what you want, you have to learn how to work hard. And in my courses, you will have to do that, yeah? So that's a kind of part of it. So a role of education and diploma in your career. I cannot stress how important it is, yeah? So the reason that I could do what I did in big parts were related to the fact that I had the right diplomas, okay? So when you choose your career, and when you choose what you want to go for, it's important to have a well-established school. It's important to have a place where people know, because of the connections, as Claudia talked about, because people will know that when you graduate from certain type of universities, you will have a certain quality of education that you will receive. And when you go out, so if, for example, people are now accepted, as Claudia showed you, to all these companies, when you graduate, you will go in the steps of these other graduates, and if they were successful and if they did a good job, so it will be easier for you, and you will have a more job opportunities. So the diplomas are important, you know. So, and then I did my MBA in one of the best schools in the world. So it opens a lot of doors, yeah. So and it brings you a lot of connections. And the other part of the career is also, once you graduate from here, so very important, what is your first job? Extremely important, because your first job, it's a continuing learning experience. So it's because then when you look back, so you will know, so when you graduate from the university, you don't stop learning. It's just at the beginning process of the learning, okay? So now, going into my life, okay? So I will try not to be too kind of, to talk about too much about it, but that's a little bit about me. So I kind of looked at it, so I did it several years ago for some master course that Claudia invited me to do when it talks about the professional development. And I kind of figured out that my life can be split in 3 different parts, you know. So a part of me is Russian, okay, so like 20 years, okay, it's the first 20 years of my life. So I grew up in Moscow, I was born in Moscow, and I went to my first university was in Moscow, so it was the Moscow Finance Institute when I started, and now it's State Finance Academy. Then I went to the United States, and the next 15 years of my life, well, 10 years of my life, so were kind of English speaking. So I lived in the United States. I went to the business school, even though it was in France, it was English speaking. So I worked in the American companies. So it was very, very much professional English speaking. This is the second part of mine. And the third part is when I actually stopped working. So I got married and I moved to different countries. As you will see, I will talk a little bit more about it. And I continued working on some projects, but not so intensively. And I had my 2 children, and I was following my husband through his career. Yeah. So in a way, so this is kind of my career path. So I have, and then my husband is French, so the third part of me is French. Yeah. So I have like 3 different parts. Yeah. So, and in reality, so I lived in, as you see, in many different places. So, and it's very different between visiting a place, as you probably know, and living in a place. So in all those places, I lived at least for 2 years, you know, with the exception of France, I think it was 1.5 years. So, but at least 2 years in each one of them. So you get to know how the culture works, and you really get to know, understand the place. Yeah. So, and yeah, and I speak 3 languages, so in a kind of equal way. So French, English, and Russian. So that's also kind of part of what it is. Yeah. So about the education in the beginning, I already talked to you a little bit. So how we decided that how I will go to school. So I was part of this State Finance Academy. So, and at that time, so it was very interesting because it was the time of the disintegration of the Soviet Union. And when we were going to this university, it was people actually, our professors didn't know what to teach us. Yeah, so because the old system was not there anymore, and the new system is not being created anymore. So I always wondered, is like what it is that we really learned there, you know. So we had, but everybody who went through this together with me in this university, so they are going through this change and being very uncertain, and having some American professors coming to teach to us from time to time, and having some young managers coming to talk to us. So did something. So most of the people who are in my promotion, so they're now having a very high positions in the companies in Russia, and many of them are working abroad. So actually, probably if I can look at our promotion, we also probably have 26 countries where the graduates from my years are now working at. So here's now the first chance. Okay, so I was studying in the 4th year of the university. So at the ending it, so in the 5th year at that time, so what's called an entrepreneurship year. So when you actually spend most of your year studies. And at that time, I received the possibility. I went through the interview process and did some exams to go for the exchange program to the United States. Yeah, and it was Hope College in a very small city, Holland, Michigan. So Holland, as you know, it's like the Netherlands of it was the Netherlands of the United States. So you go there, everybody, their name is Van something. So they're all descendants from the Dutch people who immigrate. So they're all immigrants from like fifth, sixth, 10th generation from the people who used to live in the Netherlands. So this was the chance. So I was 20 years old, so not so much money. Yeah. So at that time it was the age, it was the 90s, you know, so my parents didn't have money, so I had no money, so but had the opportunity. The first time away, so no mobile phones, yeah, so no possibility to call your parents all the time. So there were 18 of the Russian students who got this exchange program and got scholarship, and we all went there. So I didn't know anybody with whom I went, so because all the students were collected from all over Russia, so we had people from the Siberia and people from different places. So 1 year, not much money, so a lot of experience, fantastic experience, yeah. So this was so I had to grab it, right? So I had to grab it and go with it. So the year passed, so I'm still 21, 20, whatever the year. So the year ended. So normally this program is for those students who have to go back to Russia and help the Russian economy to develop. Of course, out of 18 of us, 4 went back. So at this time, so many girls got married all of a sudden. You know, so the boys were accepted to the MBA and the PhD programs because they were mathematicians and physics majors. So which was very good quality in Russia and the former Soviet Union. So they were very welcomed in those universities. So and I got a chance. I got a phone call and saying, you know, there is this company, Goldman Sachs, that is opening office in Moscow, and they are looking in a 1 or 2 year time that they will be expanding very much, and they are looking for young people that they can educate, yeah, so in their values. And I could go and I was invited to the interview, yeah. Have no clue what Goldman Sachs is, yeah. I will tell you what Goldman Sachs is, so anybody knows what Goldman Sachs is? It's like the premier world investment bank, best Wall Street, yeah. So the biggest, the most renowned, etc. Everybody, you go to any of the college or high school in the United States, they will all know what Goldman Sachs is. I had no clue, yeah. And I went for the interview, yeah, drilling interview. You know, the whole day you go from one office to another. You know, we're probably 6, 7, 8 interviews. You know, I was like, my goodness, I fail. You know, there is absolutely no way. So and I was accepted. Okay, so now I was accepted for the 2 months summer internship program. Yeah. So it was like a kind of extended, now I understand it was like an extended interview. They said, okay, we don't know what this girl, you know, what she can do, what she cannot do, but they have this program for the minority students, you know, like from the minority backgrounds. So, and I was accepted to be part of it. So I went there. So again, absolutely sure that after these 2 months, they will figure out who I am and they will never accept and they will say, thank you very much, bye-bye, you know. So I got a good salary at that time, so it was very well. So I was putting on my salary so that I could actually study for the MBA in one of the universities that I was already accepted in the United States, because I was trying to figure out what it. I worked very hard, and just investment bank in the United States, you work all the time. So I worked very, very, very hard, and actually what happened is after 2 months they offered me to stay for 2 years, okay, as a normal analyst program, the financial analyst program. So, and I did stay there, so working 100 hours per week, yeah, so which means you're on the call all the time. So it's one of the toughest profession. I was working in the mergers and acquisitions department, so it's the one that helps companies to acquire businesses. So, and yeah, by the way, I think I have this, yeah, Goldman Sachs, sorry. So I have it all, yeah. So this is what Goldman Sachs is, yeah. Leading investment bank. You know, after this crisis, if you know what the crisis happened 2008, when all those banks were like falling down, investment banks, you know, Lehman Brothers, etc., etc. Goldman Sachs is one of the 2 banks that stayed. Okay, so this now Goldman Sachs is also very famous because it's in the U.S. government. So there are a lot of advisors and all the treasury secretaries, etc. For quite some time, they were the former employees of Goldman Sachs. So now there is actually now has this negative cloud that they influence too much of the politics. It was not at the time when I was there, okay? So this is their revenues, well, 2013, so it's probably bigger now. It was 34.2 billion, so which means that on a yearly basis, they receive revenue, money, coming from their customers of 34.2 billion, yeah? I don't know whether you can imagine how many zeros behind, yeah? Global, so all over the place, so they're in Asian markets, in the European markets, in the US, etc., etc. So there are 4 divisions, and the way that it works, so the hierarchy is from financial analyst to the managing director, okay? And I had the lowest position, financial analyst, so the one that you can get when you graduate from the university, yeah? So I worked there for 2 years. So after 2 years, okay, so that's, yeah, that I kind of talked about. So after 2 years, the advantage, this was my first job. That's why I'm telling you, the first job is very important. I learned, I worked very, very, very hard. I don't think, so actually after that, I also learned that when I was already in the job, that mergers and acquisitions is the hardest job in the investment banking, and Goldman Sachs is the place that makes people work hardest out of all investment banks. So I wasn't the place where you work the hardest of all, yeah? But I survived, yeah? So, but what it does is, now we are like 20, 25 years later, I said I worked at Goldman Sachs. Everybody, the people in the business, so they know what it means, so you are part of this community, you're part of people. So it's very important. So because you know that when you work in those companies, so in the big corporation, they teach you how to work. Yeah, so very important. That's what it is. So if you go to the good business school, they teach you how to study, and they what to learn. When you go to a good job, there are certain companies that actually show you how to work and what is demanded. It might be tough. It should be tough for you for the first 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but you know how to work after that. And after that, so you get your reputation. Yeah. So and then you can get to do what it is that you want to do in a high level, not in a small level. Okay. So yeah. So and what Goldman Sachs experience gave me, it opened the door for me to the best MBA schools in the world. Yeah. Because Goldman Sachs, because the people who work at Goldman Sachs, they're accepted in the best school of the world. So my choice was Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, INSEAD. So they're the best schools. Yeah. So I said, okay, I had enough and that's where I applied. Yeah. So I said, okay, I had enough. I was accepted to several of them, and I really wanted to go to Europe. Okay. So and my choice was INSEAD. Okay, so maybe you don't know what INSEAD is, but INSEAD is a school located in France, so it's one of the top schools. So now they say they are the best one because Financial Times ranked them the best for the 2nd or the 3rd time of the row. So and they do only MBAs and the executive programs. They don't have undergraduate program as well at all. So it is the European school, but it's very global. So today they have actually campuses in France, in Singapore, and Abu Dhabi. So when I studied, so they only had the French campus, so it was studied in 50s. Not very easy to get, the place to get, yeah? So the same with Goldman Sachs, very difficult to get to, yeah? So there are many applicants. The MBA so also cannot get there without a good work experience, okay? So very expensive, yeah? So, but I got the bank loan, which was easy. It is easy to pay back because you have a very good job afterwards. Yeah, 1 year program, so very intensive. The program was in English, so people from all over the world. So the best. So because when you go, one of the important experience in any business school, and especially when you go to the executive and the graduate program, you learn as much from the teachers as you learn from interaction with each other, and the value of the MBA program. The biggest value is this networking effect. Yeah, so because you learn, you meet the right people, and then how Claudia said that many doors will open for you. Yeah, so that's why one day you go to the MBA. So when I have some students from undergraduate come and says, should I do the MBA? I said no. Right after school, I think you should work. You should learn what it is to work, and after that you decide what it is, whether you want to do the MBA. But the only value of MBA is when you actually know what to get from it. Yeah, so you need to learn on the job. So what different things are. Okay. So yeah. So and then after INSEAD again. So after INSEAD, the nice part. So you can choose the jobs because the employers come to you. The same thing happens here, yeah. So, but on different level. But the employers, so you get all the employers. You don't like send the CVs. Well, you do send, but you send it to the people who come, and they come to you to campus. So, and they interview you on campus. So the MBA is just 10 months, yeah. So, and then you can continue your job, yeah. So my choice was because I wanted to change my career. So my choice was, okay, so I wanted to change it from finance. So I went to work for Honeywell. So Honeywell is an American company. So I was a business development manager. And I always wanted to try it, you know, because for me, the finance is something very kind of, you do not touch what they produce. So, and I wanted to see whether, you know, the technology company. At that time when I joined, it was considered a high tech. It has changed a little bit since then because of 2 acquisitions, okay? So it was an engineering company, high tech engineering company. So I worked in 2 places. I worked in 2 places. So I worked in Prague. Okay, so I was a business development manager opening the affiliates in Romania, Bulgaria, Uzbekistan. So kind of traveled different. Hungary, we were doing different projects. So doing the financing project in Hungary and Poland. Okay. So then in 1998, so I got a promotion. So I went from Prague to Brussels, which were the European headquarters, and I was doing mergers and acquisitions and the business development in Brussels. Okay. So then there was the mergers. So I'm not going to talk too much about the mergers, otherwise it will take, you know, if you go to my class, the 3rd year, you know, the business development class, business valuation class. So we can talk about it. So what the merger is when 2 companies merge. So, and I went through 2 mergers, kind of becoming the director of business development for a while. So, and that's how it was. Yeah, so this I will probably skip. Yeah, and after this, so my life completely changed. So for the girls around here, so just have to make sure also this is part of your life if you want to have a successful career. So at some point of time, the family time comes in. So the way that it worked for me, so it was very natural. I moved with my husband, so I got married when I was in Brussels. So, and I moved with my family to Turkey, so because that's where he had his job. So, and at that time I had my 2 children. So, and I was working on the projects here and there. Very long time I stopped working. So then we came here to Latvia. So I again came with my husband. So, and because I had all those experiences of diplomas and work experience, etc., etc., I could start the job when I wanted, how I wanted. Okay, so that's the important part. This is for me personally, is a success. Okay, so because your goals change during your life. Okay, so but the good career for me and successful career is, first of all, when you have no regrets of what you have done. And secondly is the one that it allows you to build in the direction that you want to build it, yeah. And if you have the right cards, yeah, so like education and the first job experience, maybe the second job experience, maybe a little bit of extra qualification, you know, like for accountants you will have like a CPA, you know, chief public, you know, but for some others you will have like CFA. So there are some others. So you can build it a little bit so that if you decide to stop or if you decide to change, you can always go back if you want to, if you need to. Yeah? Because there is also the question, sometimes you want, sometimes you just simply need money. Yeah. So there is also this financial part that we shouldn't ignore. So this business career is very important for you. Yeah. So now, the last concluding remarks, okay. My personal experience is that you can achieve anything in life, yeah. So if you wish to, sometimes more. You know, I have never imagined that the things that I would do. So, but if you really dream something, many things will come true, okay. So whenever you stop, just you can make a positive impact. So whether you work, whether you don't work, so that's very important. So it's always very good to build on your professional experience. Okay, keep in mind this 4 pillar of success when you get at the end of it. And for you personally, so be open to the opportunities, your head to the opportunities when they come. And but once you decide to pursue a certain opportunity, you just really have to go full-hearted with it and try to work hard and try to make the best of it, and then look for the next opportunity. Okay, so that would be my kind of remarks. And I will be here till the end. So if you have any questions, you are welcome. And I hope I will see many of you in September. So, but of course, it depends when you are graduating, what you decide, and whether you will be accepted. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Sleepy? Okay, then get up and sit down again. Yeah, get up. Okay, then now you can sit down. Thank you. So now we continue. Good morning. Now you've waken up. My name is Elsa Preda. I am the BBA program coordinator here. I think you have met me or seen me somewhere. If not, hello, nice to meet you. I will start with what Marina ended with. How many of you graduate this year? Okay, so there are some people thinking of applying next year or the year after, right? You are. You are from Form 11? Yep. Okay. So, has anyone already seen the application process? You are? Yeah. Anyone else? You are maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I would like to invite you to interrupt me if you have any questions about the part I'm talking about. So, the application process. Here in front of you, you have application package, the big package. Yeah, that is the application package. You also have that checklist that I have here, where you can just see what else is missing, what you have to gather in order to get in here. So this is just the formal part. Application form, the document in front of you is the actual application form that you have to fill out. It includes information about you, about your previous education. It includes the recommendation letter samples and a lot of other fields you have to fill out. So the first thing is the actual application form. You can fill it out either on the computer if it's easier for you, or you can write it with your hand and email it or bring it to school yourselves. Any questions so far? I see some surprised faces. It's actually not that much of information when you start to fill it out. It's quite easy. And then extracurricular activities. Do you know what it is? It's everything you do outside of the school. Either you do your student union, or you have done Skola animācija uzņēmums, or you do any sports, you play any music instrument. Do you have any question? No? Or anything else you do outside of the school, which is a very, very, very important part, because it actually differs you from other students applying. Most of the students who apply here have good grades, but then we have to somehow differentiate you and see whom we really want to accept and you all have to give value to each other. It is very important for you because you will work with those people in the future. So write everything that you do outside of the school. There's a special page for extracurricular activities. Think carefully what you have done. I know that all of you do more than just one thing. Then high school diploma and transcript, which is Form 11 and Form 12. Do you already have your 12th grade, Form 12 grades? No, not yet. Then you will just add the first semester and Form 11. And once you get your diplomas and your certificates, you will just add them to the application package. Then TOEFL or IELTS. Do you know what this is? It's test of English language. So we need some kind of proof of your English language level. For several reasons. It is for the accreditations and for our paperwork. And the second thing is that we want to ensure that your English is good enough that you will be able to study in the classes and that you will get along with all of the information provided for you, and you will not spend too much time translating it, that you will be able to talk to your classmates and faculty and write your essays good enough. Then personal statement, in other words, it is motivation letter. Please don't write more than 1 page. 1 page is totally enough. Be sharp and show us again. Here you can show how you differentiate from others and what is your true passions and who are you. And don't write sentences and quotes from Google and other people's motivation letters, and please be truthful because we really read all of them. And 2 recommendation letters. Do you know whom you can get them from? One example, whom you could get the recommendation letter from? Yes, your teachers is a very good source. And then maybe you have done internship somewhere. Maybe you have been training or dancing or singing for a long time and you want your coach to do your recommendation letters. That is all valid. And an interview. This is a very important step. Everyone will go through an interview with me, Claudio, and most likely someone from the student union as well. So, any questions so far? Quite easy, right? But yeah, it is very easy to get to do the application process, but with one note that you have already worked before that, because if you have already collected your portfolio and done all of those things, then it's very easy just to put it together and to put your mind together and write it on a piece of paper. But you should have worked before, and you still have a year to work on this. Then next is tuition fees. As Marina said, she was very lucky to get an easy loan and then to get a good salary to pay it back. So the same thing will happen with you. You will invest in yourselves, and then when you get the good jobs, you'll be able to pay it back. Or maybe you'll be lucky and your parents will pay your tuition fees. Any questions here? So, as you remember, at the very beginning, Claudio explained that we have only one program, but we have several options. So the first is if you stay all 3 years here at Riga Business School. Then the second option is 2 years here and 1 year in Norway. You pay the tuition fee to them. In Norway, you have 3 specializations. One is international business, which is the general program. And then there are 2 options to specialize either in finance or in shipping. For example, this year, the shipping management students didn't have to pay anything because they got a scholarship from the Norwegian government. So I cannot promise that the scholarships will be there in 3 years when you go there, but it happened this year. Maybe there will be actually more scholarships. Maybe the finance part will also have a scholarship option. And then the third part is 3 years here in Riga, and then the 4th year in America. Scholarship opportunities. I would say that these 3 actually are eligible for the people who are willing to apply next year, because the scholarships are for the students who apply to early application deadline, which was already in the end of April. So we have Excellence Scholarship, Basketball Scholarship, and Learn Scholarship, where you spend 1 week at RBS with our faculty. You go on company visits, you have classes, you do group work, you do individual work, you solve a real business problem. For this and last year it was SEB Bank. Hopefully next year it will be them as well, because they give really good projects to the students. And you can taste the environment here and understand if you really want to study here. And if you're lucky and good enough, then you get a scholarship for the full tuition that covers the full tuition. Anything else? Do you have any questions here? Yep.
Maybe tell more about also scholarship during the time last year.
Okay. If you don't get the scholarship in the early application, you can still get some other opportunities to either reduce your tuition fee or to waive it. For example, you can become a teaching assistant, which means you will correct the quizzes and other works for faculty in, for example, a subject. Marina, I think, also has a teaching assistant. Yeah, and they get discounts for their tuition fee from that. Then you can also get an excellence scholarship once you already study here in several ways. If someone from the scholarship loses it, because you have to retain an average grade of 8 to still be eligible for the scholarship, or if we get some new scholarships. And there will be information from the Student Union as well regarding this. So we will follow with Roland's and information from Student Union. If you don't have any questions for me now, if you think of anything later, I will be here a little bit after the presentation. Oh, everything is done as well, so you can ask me questions. Lodzo, Rolands.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roland Indrushkevich. I'm a student here at RBS. Next year will be the last year for my studies in the bachelor program. And today I want to tell you about the Student Union of Riga Business School. I'm also a member of Riga Business School, since every student, once you have become a student, is a member of the Student Union. But I am more specifically more involved. I'm in the education division, which I'm currently leading. So what is the purpose of the Student Union? First of all, to develop a strong community of leaders. Secondly, to increase cooperation between the students, the faculty, and the administration. And lastly, make your time at RBS the time of your life. So here is the structure of the Student Union. So first of all, there's a president and the vice president, and then there are 4 divisions. So there's the head of the public relation division, the cultural division, the education division, which I'm currently representing, and the external division. But that's not it. Every division has their own team, and in their teams they're creating projects, having annual meetings, and working to create RBS better. So what we are doing in the Student Union, here you can see the annual networking event. What is the networking event? We are gathering leaders from companies in managerial positions together with students and faculty members, and together we are networking and celebrating success. In the other picture you can see a project that was made by Carlos Jonas, one of our students. What is positive about RBS? The faculty, they are not providing us money for this. They are encouraging us to find other sources to get money to realize these projects. For example, for the networking dinner, we are looking for sponsors, and we look for sponsors that completely cover all the event. And for example, with the football table, we gather donations from students and alumni members, and eventually we got this awesome table, and now we can share our time together by some of these activities. Here you can see Halloween and Thanksgiving. Yes, we are closely related to USA, since our program is very alike the ones in USA, our Bachelor BBA program. We also have USA alumni, and our strong cooperation with Buffalo University. Therefore, we are celebrating these events. Here you can see Jānis Grēviņš, our director of our school, who made this delicious turkey. And yeah, this is from last year, the Halloween event. So when you will be a student of Riga Business School, why should you all join the student union and actively participate? First of all, you would develop leadership and management skills. You would create valuable network, and lastly, have a lot of fun. But here's one thing why you are very good. Like this is something no one knows yet. Like my fellow course mates don't know this yet. So you are very lucky to be here today, since you are the first ones to find it out. Maybe only Claudia knows about it. So next year, we will be able to give scholarships to you. The next board will give scholarships to the best performing students in terms of grades and in terms of participation in the student union. So there will be 5 scholarships that will be worth 50% of the tuition fee. And all you have to do is to actively participate in the student union and to study hard. So before I applied to RBS, I had different motivations. I see it as an opportunity to further in my life make a business myself. There was this double degree opportunity, but during the studies, I understood what are the key characteristics that I am achieving during these studies. So first of all, it is persuasive speaking, which, for example, I'm like training right now as well, and I'm thankful for RBS that they are giving me all these opportunities to learn and to succeed in public speaking and building my convincing skills as well. So secondly, it's leadership and management, which is taught during different group works and case studies during all the courses. Then it is financial literacy, which, for example, in Marina's courses is excellently taught. And all these things, they are described in one very, very good book that I recently read. It is Rich Dad and Poor Dad. It's also written in Latvian language. If you are interested, you could. If you're interested, you could like give it around. And the problem that this book is facing is that nowadays many people they do not succeed in terms of finances. They make very bad financial decisions, and this is mostly what RBS is teaching us, to make good decisions. And this book, the author, Robert Kiyosaki, has said that we go to school to learn to work hard for money, but he wrote this book to create products and to teach people how to make money work hard for them, how to make good investments, and how to succeed in life. And this is what RBS is teaching us. And when I read this book, I understood that RBS has gave a lot of knowledge to understand finance, to be financially literate. So this is it. I'm giving the microphone to the alumni members. Or no questions? Maybe afterwards.
We'll be around. Yeah. Very good. And now we are gonna have the alumni. Well, he's an alumni for only a couple of days, actually. Elvis, yeah. So, and then we have Alina. I don't see for many years, for a couple of years. And we have Kristaps. They have a huge. Kristaps has been the first president of the student union, and now he's working in a bank. He's gonna tell his story. Elina has being the student that got you had the highest average grade at the end of the program in your group. Yeah. So you got a special recognition, and Elena is working for Danone. Still, not anymore. Okay. I didn't check Facebook before. That's the problem. And then we have Elvis, that was the president of the student union, and now you are still working. Okay, okay. I'm gonna hand over the microphones to them, and I invite you to just make question to them. So who wants to be the first one?
Explain like my story. Okay, now. Okay, my story I'll add on for Claudio's speech. Yes, I work now. I work in DNB Bank as a junior financial consultant. I was the president of the student union, just as Kristaps. My journey here, what led me to RBS? Actually, it's quite simple. I was searching for international experience. In a sense, I wanted to be in English. I wanted to be here in Riga, and I want to be in like a little small group of people. And actually, that's exactly what I got. I didn't go to SSE. I didn't go to RGSL. Those things didn't interest me. I think I'm one of the rare persons who didn't go to these schools before. So, yeah, it was an easy decision. Easy decision. I came. I saw. I conquered. I'd say. I got accepted. What can I add? My experience here and how it helped me in achieving what I've just achieved. So Roland's told about a couple of interesting things. The financial literacy. Yes, it is important that this school teaches those kinds of things. But for me, the number one thing is the community and the family. I like to say we are a family. Why? Because we're a small group. Number one, and that is actually the main factor. And during these 3 years, because of this small group, we come together and each other bond with each other, and not only we as course mates, but with faculty and alumni as well. So that's the number one thing, learning point from my experience, from what I've got here. Maybe someone can add up your perspectives.
So similarly to Elvis, why I joined was that I was looking for international kind of school, but not willing to leave the country. So one choice was SSC. The other one was this, and what really made me want to try was that I was part of the very first bachelor group. So it was not only a learning experience for me, but everyone involved, and Claudio was involved, and we were sort of those first guys that got a lot of things tested on us, which was good and bad at the same time. But I didn't regret joining this group because, as Elise also said, it's a small group and the community is very strong. But I would also like to point out about lecturers. So as it's been said, I graduated I think 2 years ago. Anyway, it's been a while. I've even forgotten when it was. But still, 2 years, you see, long time. But regardless of that, there are still many lecturers to this day that I can seek help to. They're my friends. They're not professors. They're not subordinates. They are my friends. And then that stays. This community stays. And what RBS helped me with, firstly, my first stepping stone, as Claudio mentioned, was working for Danone, which was an opportunity provided by RBS. And it also helped me a lot of, not in the sense that I learned some book wisdom, but it was more about managing relations with different kind of people. The lectures were amazingly different. The courses were very, very different. The demands from the lectures, structures of the courses. So you had to adapt, and that's what I learned. And since Claudio hasn't checked the Facebook and he doesn't know, I'm not working for Danone anymore. I'm working for Maxima, not in the warehouse, not in the store as a cashier, thankfully, but analytics. And what I really liked both about Danone and about Maxima was that they hadn't heard about the RBS so much because it's relatively recent university, so to say. So it's very nice to be the person that actually creates the first impression about RBS. And I hope that I haven't screwed up in that regard, and those employers will still take you after you say where you've been. And yes, I'll give the microphone to Kristaps, the other president. So I'm the only one who's not been president here. Okay, that's like, okay, was that intentional, Claudia? Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. Well, guess I have to start with my story why I joined the RBS. Well, it was long time ago already. At that point, it was a very risky decision because nobody knew anything about RBS. Well, something because there was an MBA program, but about bachelor's, there was nothing. It was something around June that I haven't applied anywhere yet, but I knew I want to go to some kind of business school, but I wanted to do here in Latvia. I did the research and there was no business schools actually here. Well, there was SSC that promotes that they are business school, but they're not. So if you want to go to work in finance, make a finance career, then SSC is better, maybe choice for you than RBS. But if you want something broader, you want some general knowledge, then this is the place probably. Why? I can confirm that after all these years. Well, funny, yeah, but I work in field of finance in a bank, but I'm not a banker or something related close to finance. Actually, I am. Well, my position is I'm head of customer transactions monitoring division. That is basically the field of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing. How do it call something like that? It's a very interesting field. It's the hot field right now in the market, and I'm very glad that RBS, I think they already next year will have a course in this one, right? Yeah, that's a very good news, and it's a secret. Oh, oops, forget about this. But basically, this is a very good field. It's this field pays a very good salary, especially if you're just recent graduate. Most of the companies will not pay you a lot of money, but in this field they will, because there's a huge loads of stress. You need to apply a lot of different knowledge, but at the same time you can learn really a lot, because when you're in this field, you have to know everything about any other fields that there exists. You have to know how the logistics works, how the accounting works. So you have to know laws, you have to know sanctions, you have to know how bank works. Basically, it's a general intelligence that you need. You actually, when you apply there, basically they don't require any kind of specific knowledge. They just want to see if you are a person who knows how to think, that has some logic reasoning behind his actions, so that you can make every day, every minute the right decisions. And well, for RBS, for me, RBS is, I see it as not the place where you have to get the best grades, because actually in the end, Claudia, don't listen to this, the grades doesn't matter. Actually, what matters is that you can learn how to actually think in the right way. How can you learn to make right arguments and make right decisions, and that's actually what you can learn here. So I was maybe not the top student in terms of grades, but no, that's fine. That's fine. Everybody has to be good at something. So I wasn't good maybe in grades, but I knew from the beginning what I want to gain from this, and I just tried for this. And also the student union experience helped me a lot. It's basically first time when you do like kind of, well, important decisions. Actually, you make a decisions over other people or some actions or anything that happens there. So it's important to learn already at early stage how to make decisions. That's what really helped me. What else? Oh yeah, I had to do a promotion. I'm also in alumni board right now, and we have from this year starting this amazing alumni mentoring program where basically there's a bunch of mentors gathered from our alumni, and in our alumni there's actually a lot of really impressive people, and basically I think most of the successful business leaders in Latvia comes from RBS, and that's the place and opportunity for you to meet them and actually learn from them. They're very open to involve and help you and teach you. So we have the start of this program, and I think it started very nicely, better than we expected. Not that much fails actually, so it's kind of good. No, it's always there are always some fails. Also, when we started the student union, it was a lot of fails, and it's good. It's good that you fail. You have to fail. If you don't fail at early stage, then later in life it will be much tougher for you. You will not learn anything if you don't fail. So yeah, this alumni mentoring program will be just another opportunity for you to learn something else than just accounting from books. Yeah. I don't know. Well, maybe questions. Yeah, just ask something.
But their classmates. Courses. All them with
I can probably comment on this. How many people from my course went to be 5 people? Okay, yeah, 5 people of my course went to BI. To summarize it one word, hard. It's really hard there, especially in finance, because if we dig a little bit deeper specifically, you have this one exam, it's 100% of your grade. It's all on the exam. You need to study. You cannot cheat. You cannot do anything. You have 10 bodyguards around you and looking if you're cheating something or not. The usual concern, a little bit out of academic side here, is the living thing. Of course, it's Norway. It's not cheap, but if you're together with your course mates there, you can manage in a room and split the costs. You want to know more specifically about academic side or the life or what? Academic side. Okay. How much I've heard? You can comment probably. I probably know more about the usual life because, well, I haven't really asked people about how the academics are there.
So I have contacted them all along the way, and what they have told me is that it's really hard to study there, and it is harder to study there than here, maybe because there are many people there, thousands of tens of thousands of students there, and you cannot actually contact your faculty. So here, after the class and on other times over email, for example, you can contact the faculty and ask them questions. There you only go to the classes where you have 200 people in the classroom, and you don't actually interact with them. But they still liked it. It's a very different experience. I don't say it's good or bad. It's different. So you are one of 200 students in the classroom, and then in most of the courses, their grade was formed from the final exam. So here you will collect your grade all over the semester. You'll have different assignments, group work, individual assignments, midterm exam, final exam, and attendance, participation. And you will collect the grade throughout the semester, but there most of their grades relied only on the final exam. And the final exam is like that. You are sent to a totally different premise, which is most likely a football field or a huge hall, where there are people from many courses sitting one by one. and that is how you do an exam there, which here would be just in regular classrooms. So it's a very different study experience. And I've heard also that they have studied for months, okay, not months, but 1 month they studied for their exams. So before the exam session, they spend 1 month in the library, going to bed, gym, library. That was their regime. But you are there, and most of the time you really spend on studying. But there are also interesting clubs you can join. For example, I know that Santa, one of the students who went last year, she joined the mountain hiking club, I think, and they just each weekend they went to a different mountain where they climbed, and it was very beautiful. And then you can do skiing and lots of other things as well. There's a gym. For example, this year they decided they will go. Their parents will drive them there, or their friends, and they stuffed a full car with food and everything, so they didn't have to buy that many things there in Norway, and they managed to actually not spend that much money, and they got their scholarship, so they didn't have to pay the tuition. And one of the students who went there this year, he's actually staying there for a year now, at least a year, because he got a job there, and he will be staying there. And you can also get internships and job positions there when you go there. And then from their year also, there were students who went to Norway, and they say the same thing. It's very hard, but a very different and good experience. And as Santa said, is her best choice that she went there. Yeah. Okay.
So the Buffalo, we have one student that completed the dual degree. She did better in grades there than here. She was a very good student here anyway, but she got better grades there than here. And there the experience is very similar to what Elsa already commented on BI. So you have a campus of 30,000 students, and so suddenly you are in a huge place where you have a lot of people, and then it's more final exam driven courses, usually multiple choices. Yeah, so here we teach you much more writing skills, so you write a lot of essays, so you have much more training on this type of reporting. So the big universities usually I mean, you cannot ask a professor to read 1,000 essays, so they have to go for multiple choices. So they cannot check your writing skills. So that's the good thing about a small school and a big school. If you combine that, in a small school you will have certain skills more developed, in a big school and other skills. Yeah. So that's you have many. This is a typical U.S. college, small liberal arts college. Yeah.
Also, another comment from Paula. She said that it was really, really good. It was really fun, but Paula is a very outgoing person. So she went everywhere where she was invited, and even asked for other events where to go. And she said that 1 year was not enough for her there, because the university is so huge, and the opportunities are so many that 1 year was not enough there. So maybe you should plan a little bit more time if you want to go to US.
To the guys, to them. Two more and we go for the coffee. For the snacks. Whatever. Yeah.
Hours about what we
Okay, your experience, the community experience. Elvis talk about it, but not Elena. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pick.
Maybe if
Pick one
I don't know if
experience.
you all have been to a networking dinner, but why do you make it? Why it's important to be there?
We go for it.
You have been there.
Yeah,
so I
and
don't
we
know
go for
about
the
Elena,
snacks.
but yeah, no, sorry.
Okay. Did somebody told you about networking dinner or nothing? No, a bit. Okay. Basically, it's a amazing event. The story is that actually me, Claudio, and Professor Glenn, we were in a cigar club smoking cigars, and so we came up with this event that we should do something like that, like a networking event, which basically brings together the students of RBS. It's half of the is the students, and the other half is like business leaders, successful entrepreneurs, blah blah blah. So there's a lot of really cool people coming there, and they're open to share with their knowledge, with their information, contacts. So you get to have a lot of business cards and get a lot of nice contacts, and they're always open to any kind of conversations and sharing of information. So it's kind of valuable, very valuable for broadening your network, which is, I think, one of the most important things in life. If you have a lot of people that you really know and have something in common, you can achieve a lot of things. So that's a bit insight of the, yeah, basically this is in a formal event where you have 3-course meal, you have certain topics to talk about, and then have some drinks, to relax, and so that talks go a bit. Yes.
To comment, so I don't know whether I need to have this. I was at 2 of those networking dinners, and I am just want to tell you that the first time I came, I didn't expect very much. I was amazed at the quality that the student union produced of this event. So it was very high quality. With the people that came was very impressive. So it was really, really very high quality event from everything, from the organization, the people invited, the presentation, everything to the minute detail. So I've always complimented the student union. So if you join, so it will be, I guess, like probably the second year students were most involved in it. So it is a big event, and it is really, the tradition is that I think it's becoming that it is a very high quality, very professionally organized event. Very impressive. Yeah.
It will be your responsibility to make the event even better. You can't fail this one. It'll be bad.
More about mentors like RBS. As you were the last one here.
Actually, the best person for talking about mentor program is you, Claudio, I believe. No, okay, briefly about the mentor program, if we call it. There are the first year students, second year, and third year students. Well, initially, it was like the third year students are the mentors for the first year students. So you have this link to those people who already know about RBS and know the ins and outs, to which person you should go, how to talk, for example, to Marina or how to talk to Carlos. For example, Marina knows that cash is king, so you must emphasize cash. Okay, I'm joking now, but seriously, you have this other person you can count on, who can help you in like your way through the RBS, where to go, how to do stuff. And of course, if that person has accumulated some experience from outside RBS, of course, he's there to share it with you. That is in my brief words about the mentorship. Probably Claudio can say much more about it.
It's an amazing experience, yeah. I mean, this is an opportunity where you can, for me, when I was your age and I got to university, the one thing I really needed, and I got it, was not what the professor was telling me I have to do, but what really happened in real life. And that is what the students say. So, I mean, the professor is going to tell you, you know, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to study, this is what you have to study, this is what you have to connect. Okay, but what is the real life? And that is what the senior students are able to do, actually. And and you feel more confident sometimes. I mean, they are your equals, so you can make those questions that you don't feel you don't have the confidence enough to do to a professor, right? I remember I had my older brother went exactly before me in the same program, and for me was okay. I was always asking to him, right? So what I have to do in this subject, what I have to do this, or when I have to look for an internship. So you have the professor, but you have the older brother or sister that is helping out, and you have a little bit, you feel closer to make those questions, and that's the idea of the mentorship, and also that we build the community stronger. Okay, so it's a very nice initiative of RBS. But let's go finishing. I'm gonna make a last question to the 3 graduates. Let's see, yeah, what happens now. So if you would have to make a tweet about your experience in RBS, so 140 characters. So, I mean, I'm not gonna count that, okay? So, but just to finish the day, and then we go for, I promise there is a good coffee there and some snacks. So, just one statement about RBS, and then we finish.
So I can tell whatever I want. More or less. I know it's kind of hard to squeeze these 3 years in one statement. It's really, especially for me, it was a long and tough journey. But I think it's not ended yet, so it continues for me. But one statement. Yeah, sure.
These guys here are thinking about coming to RBS. So them about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Then you've done the 3 of the BBA degree. What's the one pearl that stays in your mind, having transformed from this position to where you are now as productive members of society? There must be one pearl that you've taken with you.
The experience.
Okay.
But
Rip.
you can tweet also like one word, you know. It's not that. It's the experience. It's the experience to actually feel what does it mean to be outside, you know, outside your comfort zone, and to see that, you know, outside it's not always like everything fluffy and warm and nice like in school, you know, when your parents are backing up, and so you'll have to be on your own. So but after the graduation, I think you'll be pretty much ready to be on your own and do amazing stuff.
Okay, maybe expanding on what Kristaps said, I remember what I wrote in the yearbook when I graduated, and then I would compare RBS experience to a marathon, running a marathon. At first you feel very comfortable. Around the 30th, 35th kilometer you want to die, but in the end it's really worth it. And it's really when you graduate and when you spend 2 years outside RBS, it's only then when you can reflect what it has given you. And the main part is get over this 30th kilometer. When you want to give up, when you want to skip the race, just quit, because the reward is worth it. And I'm not saying it because Claudio has a gun to my head and I have to convince you to come here. He's not paying us. Don't put words in my mouth. But essentially, yes, you'll have a lot of moments then. That was not your statement, okay. Anyway, there will be a lot of moments when you'll feel like quitting, but the main part is to get over this wall and to finish and graduate, because maybe with Kristaps we're not as good as to tell about the processes, because it's been a while since we've been here and I bet a lot of things have changed. But it's good in a sense that we have this time to reflect and to evaluate what RBS has given us. And it's, as I said, mostly it's soft skills. And then, yes, I would really, really advise you to consider seriously this opportunity.
Okay, I'll not give any advertising speech or anything. I'll just share with my doing like the biggest learning point or the thing I learned during these 3 years in RBS. It can be expressed in just two letters, EQ. Or what it means, it's emotional coefficient and emotional intelligence. Um, I usually believe that, well, not usually, I always believe that this is the most important thing, not actually IQ, but it's EQ. It's the way you work with people, because each and every one of us is different, and this is the same phenomenon as in real life. So the person at the other end of the table when at the job interview is a different person. um, Claudia's different, Marina's different, everyone's different here. So this whole experience taught me a thing or two about how to understand people, understand their emotions, and work together, because we're different. You're from Argentina. We're from Latvia. You're from Spain. A lot of different characters and different people. So don't underestimate the emotional coefficient. Learn about these things, emotional intelligence, and try to soak it out from the RBS experience. I did it, I think, pretty well, and that's the number one thing I got from this. So, okay, a little bit of advertisement. Good luck and apply.
Okay, guys, let's go for the networking. Yeah, so let's have an yep. So come to. Thank you very much.